So she's saying, how do we deal with toddler wanting their independence and having temper tantrums if there is something they want that they can't have from a law of attraction point of view? Oh my goodness, sweetheart, that is a fantastic question. I am so glad that Aya is 2 years old, because you can make a very good easy shift while she's 2 years old. So why do you think the tantrum happens? Why is this an issue? Because when we understand the issue, now we can do something to change it. So the issue is that you have you the parent have created a dependency with the child. Now the child thinks that you are the source of everything that the child wants. And so that, my dear, is the issue. That is the issue there. How to deal with it? So now the child thinks that everything she wants has to come through you. And when you don't yield it, when you don't give it to her, she ends up throwing a temper tantrum. I'm not sure if it's a temper tantrum or some other sort of tantrum, but a tantrum. Basically, she wants what she wants and she wants it now. And so when that happens, here's what I want you to understand. The child goes down the emotional scale when they're throwing a tantrum. They give birth to a desire. And like everyone else, like all of us, after we give birth to a desire, if we think that we are not getting it, we go down the emotional scale. And now the tantrum happens because the child wants to get back up the emotional scale and the child thinks that the only way they can get back up the emotional scale is if their desire is satisfied. And from knowing law of attraction, we all know that that's not the only way to get up the emotional scale. All you have to do is shift your attention to something else and you can go up the emotional scale. So at this point in time, teaching Aya that concept is going to take some time. But what I'm going to recommend you do is to let her cry. Let her have that tantrum. Do not give in, because she is not going to be hurt by having a tantrum. Absolutely not. Because I'll tell you something, children are very smart. They will not go so far as to hurt themselves. The thing that you want is to teach Aya to her own um, have her own ability to look after her emotions and not to depend on you to fix everything for her so that she can feel better. Because this, if it goes any further, you're going to be the one with the problem. Because you know what happens, and I know from having done it the wrong way. Yes, I accept. I have done it the wrong way. And what happens is that then you feel guilty. You know why we feel guilty? Because we don't want to see our children crying. So we feel guilty that we are the ones making our children cry. Daffodil, do you feel guilty because you're making Aya cry? That's the issue, sweetheart. So you give in. But that giving in is not teaching your child anything. Because of your giving in, your child is not learning that it is her own job to find a way to go up the emotional scale. It's not your job to make her feel better. It's her job to make herself feel better. So we really want to create that independence for our children where they can control their own emotions. Because you know what happens if we don't teach them? Let me paint a picture for you. Aya is 2 years old, but imagine children growing older, and now they're 6 or 7 or whatever, 7 or 8, and something happens at school. Now the child expects you to fix it for them. But a child that you teach them to be in control of their own emotions, they don't expect you to fix it. They go and fix it themselves. They don't depend on you. And what happens is that child is way more confident. And I know from having done it the wrong way that children who are so dependent on their mother appear to be extremely confident in when the mother is around, because they know mother has their back. And soon as mother is removed from the picture, the child does not feel as secure or confident anymore. And that's the opposite of what we want. We want them to be confident on their own, not look for us for help of any sort. Natalie, I'm going to let you go ahead and add to that while I look for my second question. I was looking for it.
Sure. The other thing I want to say, Daffodil, too, is if it's an embarrassment sort of situation, which I know happens to a lot of parents, like if the tantrums occurring out in public, or you're somewhere that parents feel embarrassed and that they want the child to stop immediately because they're causing a scene, but remember too what Sarah said, don't stop it, let them go with their tantrum, it doesn't matter. The other thing to think of is it's almost kind of like a phase, and once you give them the tools, they will be able to rely on themselves and control their own emotions. And at the same point in time, they're not going to go to college having temper tantrums, at least we hope not. So it's a phase at this point in time. So if people are looking at you or saying, oh my goodness, that child's being disruptive, it's okay, she'll get over it, he'll get over it, we'll be fine, and we'll move on. So just keep that in mind too. We definitely want to teach them that they have their own guidance and that they should rely on their guidance, not necessarily their parents' guidance.
That is a very important point that you just brought up, Natalie. I agree with you completely. A lot of times people feel uncomfortable when they're out in public and the child throws a tantrum. So now you feel like everybody's looking at you and thinking that you're a bad mother. Oh, that mother has not taught her child anything. And you at that point in time, you have to remember that what you're doing for your child is way more important than what other people think. What other people think is temporary. As soon as they turn the news on, they'll forget all about you because the news is going to have so many stories to capture their attention. They're not going to remember about you. You must always do what is best for your child. Parenting is so different when you look at it through the eyes of law of attraction. It's just very different. And the way Abraham teaches us law of attraction, first of all, the way Abraham teaches us law of attraction is so different from the way law of attraction is being taught by other teachers out there. So Natalie and I have developed what we are calling the intuitive parenting portal. And I'm just going to spend just 1 minute on this. The portal is a place of full of resources for parents who want to bring up confident, happy children based on the law of attraction and more specifically, the teachings of Abraham. So our objective is to create answers to common questions that we are hearing. And each question that we hear becomes like a short video course. You can call it a course or you can call it whatever you want. We call it a course. A short video course that answers specifically that question. So I'm going to let Natalie share what some of the topics are that we've already addressed in the Intuitive Parenting Portal. And you are most welcome to contribute your questions. And every question that comes to us, we will endeavor to create a video to answer it in depth. Natalie, take it away.
So we have several different courses already loaded and ready to go. And the first thing I want to say before I tell you a little bit about the courses is if you're new to law of attraction or if you've been with us forever, they're general courses based on parenting, and they're good for every parent. Doesn't matter how old your child is, how young your child is, could be adult children. It's some of those various things. But to start with, we geared a little bit towards the younger children to start. And like Zara said, as we get more questions from you all, we will expand all of our courses. So there's a couple in there. There's about eating and nutrition for young children. There is a course about co-sleeping with your children. There's a course about what happens if you have a negative partner, spouse, relative, whoever who is trying to parent with you. There is a course about a parent that has different beliefs than you have, whatever it may be. Law of attraction, not law of attraction, anything could fall in that category. And then, of course, our flagship was the 8 Surprising Secrets of Great Parenting, which is our main course and our first course that is in there, which most of you probably have seen the email or gotten the email from us about the workbook that goes with that.
Thank you, Natalie. That was excellent.